everyone. We wanted to welcome you to our house and send a little bit of a special video as this is Masters Week, which is really a special week for us. And in our house, we have some fun Masters traditions, and having been lucky enough to go to the Masters a few times, I thought we'd share kind of a little top 10 list with you, so to speak. I guess there's probably lots of top 10 lists and all of those are debatable, but I thought we'd start with my favorite kind of top traditions of the Masters. And so one of our favorite traditions here at our house is that we like to put the smoker out back and put on some ribs in the morning so that we can hang out here at home and watch the Masters all day, and then we'll have some yummy ribs for dinner that night. So that's one of my favorite times of the year. All right, well, since there's so much to talk about with the Masters, I had to split this into two sort of quick lists. So I wanted to start with a couple of my favorite traditions and kind of the top three things that really remind me of the Masters every year. And then we'll get into the golf portion where we talk about some of those most impactful moments from Masters history. You know, if you've ever been to the Masters or maybe seen articles, you know, some of the traditions and things they do at the Masters make it an extra special event to be at, aside from all the great golf. So my top three list of special traditions starts with the sort of unlabeled food and drink, and of course the pimento cheese sandwiches. And because they don't take sponsorship from anyone, they're able to do the food fairly cheaply, but it's really a great experience. And if you've ever been, you probably have maybe a couple hundred of these at your house too. But always special on Masters Week to be drinking out of our Masters cups. So the number two tradition at the Masters that really makes it unique is the way that you can bring your own folding chair, or you can buy a special Masters chair when you're there, and you can go take it out on the golf course first thing in the morning and leave it there. So you can walk around, watch the golf, but when you come back, your chair will still be in the exact same place. So I'm going to ask my assistant, Ben, can you stand up and show him your cool Masters chair? So there's a little special spot in the back where you put your name in there. And then that way you don't miss any of the action, but you can plan out the rest of your day so that you can come back and sit in your special chair and watch whatever it is you want to see at the end of the day. The number one tradition that I think that they do at the Masters is the par 3 contest. And part of what makes that par 3 contest so cool is that all the players come out and they generally have their kids or grandkids come and caddy for them, which just makes it a really extra special family occasion. And I'd sure hope if I ever got to play in the Masters that this big guy would come and carry my bag around for me. All right, well, I had to change out of that goofy bucket hat that I was wearing, get down to some serious golf talk here, and what's going to be a little bit of my top 10 list as far as sort of Masters moments. And since we don't have any azaleas in Colorado, I guess these pink lilies will have to do for now. But I'm going to run through just my little top 10 list. I'm sure you have your own favorite moments over all the years of the Masters. And so we can talk about those sometime this summer.
This is the number 10.
All right, we're going to start with number 10, and I hate to start on a negative note, but I had to include this year in the top 10 list. And really just as the impact that the whole COVID-19 scenario has had, not just on golf or the whole sports world, but everything in general. And just for comparison, this is the first time that the Masters has been postponed or canceled since the early 40s, where 3 years in a row they did not hold the Masters due to World War II. So again, we hope your families are weathering this okay, and when we come out of it, we'll get back to watching the Masters either in this coming November or hopefully by next April.
This is the number 9.
All right, well, number 9 on my list has to be 1982 Craig Stadler, and really mostly for the fact that Craig Stadler's from Denver. You know, as a Colorado native, we don't have a lot of tour pros that come out of our state. So really cool to have that connection with Craig Stadler. And as I grew up through junior golf and in through high school, I played against his son Kevin a few times. And again, nice just to have that Masters connection from Colorado.
This is the number 8.
All right, well, number 8 on my list is a little bit of a combo. 1951, 1953 kind of combined. Ben Hogan was the golfer. And in 1949 was actually hit head on by a bus and broke all kinds of bones, was put out of golf for almost a full year, but willed his way back to have won the U.S. Open, then won the Masters in 1951, and then again the Masters in 1953, and also because his name is Ben. I do like that one.
You smile?
7.
Okay, number 7 on my list jumps ahead to 1984, Ben Crenshaw. And really, just because his name is Ben, and he's one of the best putters of all time, which we all know at Augusta, it's all about the putting, right? There is no rough, and the greens are absolutely ridiculous. So incredible to see Ben Crenshaw go through and win that year.
6. Number 6.
Okay, moving up to number 6 on my list is 1990 and sort of 89 and 90 as we go to an international champion for the first time in Nick Faldo. So this is significant because it's the first time anyone ever defended their title at the Masters, winning 2 years in a row. And Nick Faldo held that title as the only defender until 2001 and 2002, in which Tiger Woods won back-to-back.
5.
Okay, moving to number 5 on the list, and saying this one could be much higher in my book, but just going back to this past April 2019, where Tiger Woods, one of the best comebacks of all time in sports history, and all that he had sort of been through. What an incredible victory, and for him to get to have his kids there and to see him win not just a major, but the Masters of all things, that really was a special year to watch last year. Wait, yeah, hold it out. Okay, moving up to number 4 on my list, and this one's significant to me for a few reasons. Moving to big lefty, and that was Phil Mickelson, who ended up winning in 2004. Significant one, because my dad's left-handed. I grew up as a fan of Phil Mickelson. He also won the U.S. Amateur here in Denver at Cherry Hills, and before he moved on to turn pro. And he really had struggled in majors, even for as talented a golfer as he was. So for him to sort of get in action and finally pull through and win that Masters in 2004 was really special. Also special for me, I happened to be there as I had graduated from PGA school the year before and was lucky enough to go out with a few friends and watch that entire Masters and see Phil pull it out in the end. Okay, moving up to number 3 on my list goes just back to last spring again, 2019, and the addition of the Augusta Women's Amateur. I think this was just an incredible power move by the club at Augusta, by its members, to add a tournament that really just shares the inclusivity of our game, really growing and sharing with a whole new demographic of spectators and golfers. So congratulations to Augusta and the players, and our own Jennifer Kupcho from Westminster, who was raised there and taught at the Ranch Country Club by a great friend of mine, Ed Oldham, an incredible golf pro, and she's sure turned out to be a great player. So moving on to the last 2 on my top 10 list. And again, these could even be flip-flopped. I'm not sure I would argue. But I'm going to give number 2 to Jack Nicklaus, 1986. Winning at the age of 46, his 5th Masters, and really was just an incredible comeback as he's sort of waded his way through the field, a little bit like Tiger Woods last year, waited for some others to make some mistakes. And sadly, Greg Norman, who was in the middle of the 18th fairway, just having to make par to go to a playoff, unfortunately made bogey, but gave that win to Jack Nicklaus.
1.
Smile.
And we're there. The number 1 Masters moment on my top 10 list has to go to Tiger Woods, 1997, his first major as a professional. Now, he had played in the Masters as an amateur a few times, having won the U.S. Amateur. But here as a pro for the first time with high hopes and all the press. Tiger goes out in the first 9 holes on Thursday and shoots 40, 4 over par. Pretty disappointing. So he's making the turn and he does that Tiger thing where he stares off into nowhere, kind of regathers himself and shoots 30 on the back 9. So he manages to turn it around on round 1 and then keeps the pedal to the metal. He goes through and ends up finishing at 18 under par, breaking Jack Nicklaus's all-time scoring record that was set 7 years before Tiger was even born. So pretty cool on kind of having Jack there, breaking Jack's record, and going on to win by 12 strokes, which is just incredible. Obviously kickstarted a pretty neat career, and me being just a year or 2 younger than Tiger, it's obviously been a big part of golf in my life and probably for many others. So I hope you enjoyed this little top 10 list. I'm sorry we don't have the Masters to watch this week, but I'm looking forward to summertime, and we will get to see the Masters this November. if all things go well. All right, well, it looks like our ribs are almost done. I want to thank my camera person, my wife Meg, and we're getting ready to have some dinner. So we're looking forward to seeing all of you back here at Frost Creek this summer. Enjoy your week, albeit maybe Masters highlights on the Golf Channel, but I look forward to seeing you sometime soon.